Welcome to yet another interesting edition of Worthy by Design. Brought to you by Advent Cable Network Nigeria, ACNNTV, and I am Ibera Tunes. On this show, we'll focus on the journey from girlhood to womanhood and everything in between. Now, proper etiquettes and good manners are on a steady decline in the society today for the untenable reason that it is now old-fashioned. Some call it old school. But I ask, can good behavior and manners as expressions of one's personality and values ever go out of style? The answer is a vehement no. Etiquette evolves just like culture, but does not necessarily change. There is therefore the pressing need for today's discussion on etiquette and mannerism. Because at the heart of impatience, fist fights, cheating, public display of rage, and other unfortunate incidents lie an etiquette deficiency. What are we missing? And what is the way forward? With me in the studio is Mrs. Chioma Ernest Onoha. She is the vicar's wife of All Saints Church, Wuse, and the vice president of Mothers Union Women Guild, Wuse Achikinri. Am I right, ma? It's so good to have you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
So she's very passionate about retracing the lost tracks of etiquette and mannerism. I'm sure you want to hear everything she has to say. I assure you, every part of it will be worth your time. So let's go right into this discussion. Etiquette and mannerism. What is this?
Thank you so much. Etiquette means proper conduct.
Okay.
That is established by a community for various occasions and for life. And requires so many things. It requires respect for elders. It requires being honest and being trustworthy. It requires putting someone near to you, close to you at ease.
Okay. Making them feel comfortable.
Yes, making them feel comfortable. It also requires that you be polite and be courteous. But generally, it's the science of living.
So it's character. This is an expression of you.
Just like everything. And it's like the moral fabrics of the society.
Right.
So it's about ethics, everything about life.
That there's order, there's a way to do everything.
Yes, everything, science of living.
So mannerism, manners, is it the same thing as etiquette?
No.
Okay.
Mannerism has to do with gesture habits.
Okay.
Which you do unconsciously. You see some people poking their nose. You see some people twirling their hair. You know, some people while talking, you hear them say something like,
okay.
you understand? You understand?
Okay.
Whereas etiquette is an acceptable norm.
Okay.
Mannerism may not be acceptable.
Okay. Now, my question would be, why is etiquette in short supply? Because the truth is, in the society today, you find that a lot of things our parents would say they used to do then as signs of respect or kindness and all of that, it's no longer being done. Why is it in short supply?
It's in short supply today basically for two reasons.
Okay.
From my own point of view, one, people no longer teach others around them, especially parents, no longer teach their children.
Okay.
You know, because of the quest for money, for career, for...
So we sacrifice a lot of other things.
Yes, they no longer make out that time to observe and teach their children. In a situation whereby a mother leaves the house as early as 5:30 or 6 a.m., off to work or for her business, and then comes back late. No, there is no time for interaction.
Well, you know that you might not even blame the mothers, you know, because this is the world we live in.
Yeah, yeah. But surprisingly too, there are some people who know that they are losing that relationship with their children.
So they find a way to balance it.
Some have resigned from their jobs in order to have that time for that closeness. You know, that is the primary rule. That is the primary role God has given to parents, especially mothers, to raise their children. So there are some mothers who, and they are happier for it, who, when they realize that their jobs do not afford them that opportunity to relate, to interact, and teach their children. I know of families, the mothers, they resigned in order to make out time for them.
There's still the balance, you know. There are people who are still, you know, career women, but still find the time to, you know, bond with their children and do the teaching they need to teach. So I won't, personally, I won't attribute it to, you know, mothers being too busy. But you mentioned something very important: observation.
Yes.
The little time you have, ensure that you observe.
Yes.
Okay. So
you know, there are still mothers, because of the kind of jobs they do, they don't have that time. I gave you an instance, a situation whereby a mother will leave her house as early as 5:30 or 6. Probably the children are still waking up with sleep in their eyes, and then we only come back to meet them probably when they have slept. So there is no time. Even the weekends, they use the weekends maybe for social functions or for some other activity. So there is no time for those children.
So we need to find time to
teach them.
There
must be that time. So because there is no time there, mothers don't teach, there is no point of interaction.
So those things are now lacking.
Yes, so that is a major factor.
Okay.
Then the second factor there is that people also are not willing to learn. Especially the young generation these days. They are not willing to learn.
Okay. By willing to learn, you mean?
They don't want to be regulated.
Okay, because etiquette is about regulation.
Yes, they don't want to be regulated, and they feel that such conduct and moral values are obsolete.
Old school.
Yeah, exactly. You hear some children call it old school. This is old fashioned. That was then, not now. We are in jet age. So whereby the children are not willing to learn, they don't want to be regulated, because etiquette also has to do with discipline. Discipline. So because of that, they don't want to adopt such moral values. Okay, and that's why it's a short supply.
Right. Okay, now these moral values you're saying they're in short supply. What were there before now? Like, what did we have before now? The things we're saying they're in short supply.
So many.
Like,
are you talking in terms of respect for elders? In terms of dressing? Even eating habits? There are so many. Okay. So many. Like I told you, etiquette is about living.
It's daily.
Daily living, everything.
Okay.
Everything.
Okay, let's start from some basic things. Let's talk about some basic things, like sitting posture. Because I think that is very basic about a growing lady or girl. In fact, from when you're a girl. Because I remember as a child, my mom always tell me, put your legs together. You know, no matter what you're wearing, you need to put your legs together as a girl. You just said it now.
No? In those days, like you just mentioned, girls are taught to always put their legs together when they are sitting. And maybe to cross at the legs and not at the laps.
Okay, okay.
You understand it?
At the ankle.
Yes. Right. Legs. And not at the laps if you are crossing.
Okay.
You know, but these days, because wearing trousers is so common, so
we can just
so many ladies feel that warrants them the opportunity to sit
but does
anyhow.
But
it's unladylike.
Okay.
It's still unladylike. As a lady, whether you're putting on trousers or not, whenever you are sitting, your legs should be together. Should be together.
Okay.
If at all you want to cross, you cross at the legs and not at the laps. Ladies who cross at the laps are seen somehow as being...
It's even, the thing is when you cross it at the laps, some of your skin is even showing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it looks like you're...
Yeah, we were taught, cross are the legs, not on the laps.
Okay.
It's as if
So
is a kind of a subtle invitation.
Okay, okay. So we must be conscious every time we sit as
Yes.
ladies. Cross
Yes.
your leg. Oh, put it together.
Put your legs together. If I talk cross, just the way you are crossing at the legs and not on the laps.
Okay,
Good.
okay. Okay, that's very important. Now let's talk about standing.
It's also very important. Then we were taught, if you are to stand, especially before an elder, you stand with a sense of decorum.
Okay.
You don't stand with hands akimbo. You don't stand with twisted legs or bent legs. You stand with your hands together in front of you or at your back, ready to take instructions or orders, especially if you are standing before an elder.
Okay.
That was the way we were taught to stand. You don't just stand anyhow before an elder.
Yeah, but I think
And it has to be done in humility.
right.
You know, when they look at you, the sense of humility and the sense of decorum that you are ready. Because for you to stand before somebody is either you should be listening to take instructions or orders, or when asked, when asked to speak, you speak.
Okay.
But these days, many girls, especially for the female folk, the way they stand, you know, with their hands akimbo, no, it's quite wrong. That shows lack of
there's a way
proper
to
training.
behave
Yes.
as a lady.
Yes.
You just don't throw your
Yes,
your
you
weight
hear
around.
such comments like it's not ladylike, because there is a way a lady should behave, especially before elders or even in public.
Right. Now, but there's another issue that comes to mind. They say opportunity comes but once, and then you never have a second opportunity to make a first impression. How important is our sense of etiquette, or as you said, our sense of decorum in our daily relationship with people we don't know, or probably people we have never met? How important is that? It's
very important. You know, you say that first impression matters. So people should maintain proper conduct at all times and then stick to them. Because you never can tell when you are assessor.
Okay, so it's not pretense.
No. You should try and learn those moral values and then stick to them. Because you never can tell when your assessor will come to, assess you. So it's very, very important.
You cannot tell which opportunity.
No.
Depends on your...
Yes. Even in the Bible, Matthew 26, verse 41 says, watch and pray. You know, it's the motto of the, I think, the scouts, be ye prepared always. So it's a kind of character you should display at all times. You know, it should be part of you. Whether you are at home or outside, whatever, anywhere, it should be part of you. You should try and stick to it and then maintain it.
Okay. So we should, when you meet people for the first time, it's important to be kind to them, be nice to them, talk well.
Yeah. All those moral values, being nice, being polite, if you'll understand, from the way I defined etiquette, you know, it requires that you be polite, you be kind, you be trustworthy, you be honest, you show respect. So all those values
come together.
Yes, it's important that you display them at all times. You maintain them.
We'll go on a short break very soon, but before then, I'd want you to talk to us a bit about this first impression issue. Is it just for people we have never met? You know, some of us were very nice to people we've never met before, you know, because you never know. But at home, oh my God, your husband doesn't speak twice. In fact, your children, before they even raise their voices, you have, sent them somewhere. How important is our etiquette in relating with our children and the people around us, this impression issue?
No, it's very, very important. Like what I just said, is something you display, you stick to it, you maintain at all times, whether at home or outside. It's very important.
So not two
because
things.
When you do something outside and then display another character is hypocrisy.
Right.
And Jesus wants you should wash the inside of the cup first. And then
So
the
charity
outside
begins
is at home. Exactly, I was coming to that. Charity begins at home.
So if you're going to speak nicely to people outside,
Yes.
practice it with your children.
Yes.
What people believe...
Even as a mother, is very important because children learn by observation.
True.
They learn by emulation. So you are to a kind of model the kind of character you want for them. They
True.
want to see, you model it for them. Yes. And then carefully they adopt it and then stick to it.
But I am wondering, you know, a mother who decides to just scream at the children, you come back home and everybody disappears to the room until mommy calls, you know, because we're all so scared. Mommy is going to shout, mommy is going to do this. How can such a mother regain her children's trust or love? We'll talk about that right after this break.
Okay.
Don't go away.
Every person who is charged with a criminal offense is entitled to defend himself in person or by a legal practitioner of his own choice.
Remember that an individual is entitled to remain silent.
Every citizen in Nigeria is entitled to maintain a private life.
You are approaching a military checkpoint or a police checkpoint without knowing that it's against or it offends them and subject you to a frog jump. That is wrong.
Crossfire is a program that treats controversial topics on diverse issues surrounding the church and the society.
Technology drove the inflow or the outbursts of people having Bibles because of printing technology. Same way, the digital revolution has also made it possible for people to have Bibles in various formats in their hands.
As an Anglican, I believe in Anglicanism. And Anglicanism is standing on the tripod of scripture, tradition, and reason. When we are about to read the Holy Gospel, all members will be made to stand up. Assuming the Gospel are read from the phone, and it says this is the Gospel of Christ, you are likely to confuse a lot of people. Because people will be seeing phone in your hand.
In the history of Holy Communion, sir, we've never heard that somebody contacted the deeds from the other person.
I think, sir, the truth is that when people are gathered together and anything happens, whether it is an earthquake or it is a disease or anything, it spreads faster and there are more fatalities. That's just what I'm talking about.
The first evangelist in the Bible was a woman of Samaria that Jesus met at the well. Immediately this woman met Jesus. She went into the town and started telling everybody that come and see somebody who told me everything about myself.
The women actually supported the ministry of Christ, supported the ministry of the apostles, but they were never called apostles.
Spoken about how to make a good first impression. Now we're moving right on to the things you need to do as a mother when you find that you have somehow lost track of etiquette. Toma, let's go back to this discussion.
All right.
A mother has, you know, like we said before the break, a mother has been behaving badly before her children. They have picked that. And now she wants to be, like you said, you know, charity begins at home, start at home. How does she make this fresh start?
First of all, she has to work on herself and make sure she corrects the impression she already has created. And that she should do prayerfully too. When you have made mistakes, you go to God who will help you to correct those mistakes. And then you also, sometimes as mothers, we are not being honest. Like the way I define etiquette requires being honest and trust. If there had been mistakes you made before, you can as well call your, yes, I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry, I didn't know this, but now I know. This is the proper way to do things.
But you are mommy. How should you calm down and tell your children, I am sorry? Is that not a weakness? Is that
No, it's not. It's even strength. Okay. Because you are teaching your children always to apologize when they are wrong. By doing that, they learn to apologize when they are wrong. But whereby you don't say, I'm sorry.
So a child grows up and doesn't
yes,
know how to apologize.
Yes, yes, feeling arrogant and pompous, even when he or she is wrong. So it's even strength. It's even a plus for you as a mother.
Now we have talked about strangers, people you've never met. We have talked about the children at home, the family front. Now I want to talk about the people we meet on a daily basis. The taxi driver, the delivery man, the receptionist, the cleaner. Do they deserve any form of kindness and politeness from us?
Yes, they do. You know, first of all, the people you just mentioned are human beings.
True.
And because they are human beings, they deserve respect and self-worth.
But you know, some
in
of
their
us
own
treat
right.
them anyhow.
No.
Because, you know, you're just a taxi driver.
No,
Am I not paying you?
No, just because of the kind of work they do, people tend to look down on them, call them names, especially if they are in a pay list.
Okay.
But it's very, they are human beings. And it's also very important that you treat them with kindness, politely, because if you don't, they may react. And their reactions may be most displeasurable.
Okay.
You know, we once heard a story of how a woman whose driver resigned and abandoned, let me say, in a very lonely road, a thick forest, and just threw the keys at her and just walked away because of the way she related to him. You know, she was calling him names and everything. So to get back at her, he purposely did that, abandoned her.
And probably she couldn't drive.
Maybe, you know, that was her own way of getting back at her. So, you know, you can see that that was very displeasurable.
Yes,
yeah, so it's very, very important because their reactions may be things we may not be able to contend with.
So what are the things we can say to them that makes them feel better about themselves? You know, because if you treat people well, they feel very good about themselves. You know, what are the things we can say to them?
You know, when they work for you or you are working with them, encourage them. When they do well, oh, you did this well. Even when they are wrong, you quietly call them.
Correct them in love.
And correct them in love.
And a simple thank you.
Yeah, you say things like thank you. Even when you yourself offend them, you say, I'm sorry. Yes.
Is that not difficult?
To some people, those who are proud, you know, God resists the proud but gives grace to the humble. When you are, you have offended them, you say, oh, I'm sorry. It doesn't subtract from you, rather it adds.
To you. And it also adds to them.
Yes, it adds to them.
And then I'm thinking, you know,
and then they will build that confidence
in themselves.
You. Yes, yes, and also trust you. And also trust you. Then if you have some acts of kindness, you can show to them. Yes, you can give them some gifts. People actually working under you. It must, if they're in your pay list, it mustn't necessarily mean it just has to be their salary. If you can afford, there are times you encourage them and give them gifts. They will be happy, even working with you. Okay. Yes.
And now I am wondering, you know, we enter taxis almost every day, you know. And we just enter, he says 100 naira, give him his 100 naira, fly out of his taxi and he continues. Is that all they deserve?
No, 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 no. Even when they drop you, thank you.
But you're paying them?
No, no, no. Thank you doesn't take anything from you, but it acts.
Okay.
It adds to you.
So we should be conscious of thank you.
We should be polite. All
service.
These people, they are human beings. You know, do to others as you want them to do to you. That's the golden rule of life. That they are drivers or waiters or whatever doesn't mean they're not. They are human beings.
So you go
God
to
also created them in His image and likeness. They are human beings. Yes.
So you go to an eatery, you're giving food. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please excuse me.
Excuse me.
Please, can you come? You know, not screaming.
Can I have this?
Yes.
You be careful with your words. Yes.
Because
you don't sound offensive. You don't sound arrogant. Rather, you should be kind. You should be polite. You should be courteous.
So those simple words, please.
Yes.
Thank you. I am sorry.
Yes, yes. They matter a lot. They are very important.
And they make the other person feel very good about themselves.
Good, yes.
So no matter how small whatever the person is doing, the person seems like a God.
Yes, yes.
Wow, this is important. I'm learning something new. Right. And I'd like to go to another issue. Phone has not always been with us. But hey, we're here. We're all using the phones. I'm sure there's something like phone etiquette.
Yes, there is.
Now, how should we talk on phone during a conversation? Should my neighbors hear that I am having a conversation? Should I invite them into my conversation? How should people talk on phone?
If you are talking on phone, it demands that though you will be audible, but you will not be loud. Though you should speak clearly, but softly. These are the terms. These are the phone etiquettes. You should speak audibly, but not loud. You should be soft, but clear. You know, these days we see some whose phones are speakers.
On the streets.
It shouldn't be.
It's
your phone will, it's a private conversation. So you shouldn't distract others or make noise. You only use the speaker when it is necessary. When somebody next to you should be part of that discussion. But some people are saying, I don't want to put my phone near my ears because of this radiation. That is why we have the earpiece. Okay. That's the use of the earpiece. So it's a very wrong attitude to have our phones on the speakers when it's in public. No, it's very wrong.
And then I'm wondering, you know, some of us listen to music. Probably we're in a taxi. You decide to put the music. You have earpiece on, but the music is so loud that almost everybody in the taxi can hear that. Is that something?
No, it's wrong. You are creating some noise. You are distracting people and disturb them.
So whatever you're doing with your phone should be private.
You know, when we define the etiquette, also putting others at ease. Okay. Not just for you, also have to consider people around you. Okay. The music you are enjoying, maybe they may not enjoy. So you are distracting them, you are creating some noise. For them is noise. So the music is for you alone. So your earpiece should be there. That is what you'll be used. The volume should be down.
There is so much to talk about etiquette. But I'll end by asking just one question. Let us talk about meetings. You know, we are so used to our phones that we go for a meeting, something very serious is happening, and you know, somebody's on the phone and you know, you're scrolling this, you're scrolling that. Is that supposed to be?
No, it's very wrong. When you are entering a meeting, courtesy demands that either that phone is put off or you put it on silent mode. These are the two things.
That is the conclusion of the whole matter.
Yes, it's either it's off or you put it on.
Put it on silent mode, so you shouldn't distract other people.
Not at all. Not at all.
Well,
not at all.
We will say too many rules. Yes, the rules are many, but they are for our own good. As a girl, lady, or woman, the desire to be better and well-mannered is a noble thing, because by putting others before yourself, you will not only prevent avoidable quarrels and misunderstandings, but you, my dear, will make the world so full of love. To our guest, Mrs. Chioma Ernest Onoha, it is so good to have you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. God bless you.
So, dear viewers, it's a wrap on today's episode. I hope you have learned something new, because I have. Tune in again next week, same time, same station, for another interesting edition. Remember, every woman is worthy by design. I am Iberi Chins. Bye now.